Hello, dividend executives. Welcome back. The stock market is open, so you already know we are buying assets, and we are looking at some of the dividends that came in over the weekend, reinvested today, and we are making some massive changes. And it's in the form of, do we go all in on QDTE and XDTE? That has been the hot topic as of late. And for me, you guys know I have been consolidating. We used to have 27 positions in this account. And I've had a quest to get under 15 positions, and so I am continuing to consolidate today. We are going to be chopping, I think 6 positions in total. We are going to be moving those funds into QDT and XDT because I want to simplify this account. I want to get our compounding dividends growing, and I just kind of want to get rid of some of the positions that are more than redundant, right? So when we look at XDT and QDT, obviously these are covered call funds on the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. And we have a lot of those funds, so there's a lot of overlap in the account. So I want to consolidate it, and I also want to put our front runners to work, right? So what I'm looking to do today is I'm probably going to be killing about $54 a month worth of dividend income, but I will be adding an additional 100, making it that $50, 150. We may take out a little bit of share appreciation in the process, but as you guys know, there is some growth components to this dividend account, but it is purely focused on passive income. My whole goal is to get this to $1,000 a month. And then as I continue to grow it, my goal with this account is so that I can live off this someday down the road, 10, 15 years in the future. And so that is going to be done through dividend income. I have a lot of other growth plays. If you follow me on X at Dark Miner, then you know that I have a lot of growth plays. I have a lot of options plays, but for this account in particular, it is just purely for dividend income. So let's go over it. First and foremost, we received some massive dividends on XDTE and QDT on Friday. And that's nice to see that snowball. We'll go over the snowball a little bit, but last dividend was $23.65. On Friday, we got another dividend of $31.66. And then that went in and that purchased me more shares. You can see the dividend reinvestment was filled at 0.60 shares bought on drip. So we love to see that. That snowball is slowly getting bigger and bigger every single week. The next one is going to be QDTE. We are over 100 shares now on this one. And let's come down here. Dividend previous week was $35. This week, $47.74, which is an awesome weekly payer. We were paid on our 100 shares and we received 1.12 shares. So we are now dripping more than a share each and every single week on QDT, which is awesome. So it's good to see. So what are we going to be doing? Well, we're going to be selling some positions, and let's talk about why, right? We have a lot of overlap. The first one that we are going to be getting rid of is SPHD. This one is just not doing it for me. Yes, is the position super stable? Yes. Are we up 19% or $181? Yes. But this one is just not doing it when it comes to dividends, right? This is a dividend portfolio. This thing's paying $3 a month. So I have $1,100 or so in this, and it's paying me $3 a month. I know that I'm getting some share appreciation here, but I'd rather play SCHD for the share appreciation and BTI for the share appreciation of the overall market than this. So first and foremost, we are going to be selling this, and we are going to be selling all of it. And that is going to give us $1,138. So that's $1,138 or 37 that should be hitting the account, and we will get some cash back on that. So we are consolidating that. That is SPHD, and so we lose about $3 worth of dividends right there. The next one on the list is going to SPYI. Not that I don't like this fund, but again, another high income ETF on the S&P 500. We're just getting really redundant. We have so many funds that are all focused on the exact same thing. And so I just want to consolidate. Let's sell all of this. Not a huge position, $656. We'll add that to the tally. But so far we are just trimming. So 656, that's 1,794. With this one, we actually are taking a $7-ish and 22-cent hit per month. So far we've lost about $10 worth of dividend income, but don't worry, we will get it back through some other assets. Another one on the chopping block for today is QQQY. Not a big position in the portfolio, only 1.17% of the portfolio, $400 market value. This one is paying us Pretty good. I think this one paid us about $25 in dividends. It just had a stock split, so now we can't see the history. But we're going to be selling this one. This one's kind of new to the portfolio. We were testing it out, but same thing. I'd rather own QDTE than QQQY. So we are going to be getting rid of this one as well. So that is another 402 added to the balance for our purchasing power as of today. That brings us up to 2195, 2196. So SPHD gone, SPYI gone, QQQY gone. Another one I'm going to be getting rid of. And this is just because we have a lot already in this sector, I should say. We have Stag, AG&C, and Maine, and Glad. They all kind of serve a similar purchase. Today we're going to be getting rid of AG&C. Right now we are up 4.6% on this position. We've obviously received some nice dividends. We're going to be selling this one as well. Again, just another part of my consolidation. So we're going to be selling all, and we are going to be getting $773 for that position. Now, this one is not in the redundancy in terms of the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ, but it was redundant in the sense that I have Stag, Maine, and Glad already in the portfolio. And so I wanted to trim that one as well. So that is 4 positions that have been trimmed so far. Along those lines, we will be adding a little bit to some other positions. So if you look at Stag, we are up 17% on Stag. If you look at Maine, we are up 17% on that one as well. And if you look at Glad, we are up 12%. So all those are doing really good. I think those will continue to do well. And I want to reinvest a portion of that money right back into Stag. This is one of my favorite ones. It doesn't pay a huge monthly dividend. I think, yeah, $1.48 or so. Maine pays us, what are we at for Maine? $3 or so. And Glad pays us a little bit, $5 or so. So still some really good dividend payers. I'm going to be reinvesting into this one. We're just going to buy, let's see, what's 10 shares? 400. Yeah, we're going to buy 10 shares of Maine. It's going to bump it up a little bit. Obviously, we sold 773. So we're going to reinvest 500 of that right there back into the same sector. But again, we are consolidating. The next ones, and these ones are going to be hard to trim, are going to be JEPI and JEPQ. These have been really good funds, really consistent. Just not big dividend payers. JEPI paid me $6.56 for $1,300. We are up 6% on this position, but very similar thing. They're on the S&P 500, and so again, I'm consolidating. I want to trim. This is going to raise us about $1,300 worth of capital. We are going, quote unquote, for this portfolio all in on a few tickers, and we are just consolidating, making things easier. So 1321, let's add that. That brings us up to $4,290 worth of assets sold today. And that is getting us closer and closer. The last one on the list is going to be JEPQ. I've been looking at trimming this position. It is a cover call ETF on the NASDAQ 100. We have 29 shares here. We're 5% of the portfolio. We're up 13% on this position. I'm going to leave JEPQ for right now, but that is one that I may be looking at trimming. Another one I may be looking at trimming, if you saw my post a couple weeks ago, is TSLY. I believe in Tesla, but I've been trying to get away from the single stock tickers and going more towards the ETF route just for the volatility, right? So TSLY over the last 14 months or so, including all the dividends, we're probably down about $75 to $100 overall. And I've been thinking about trimming that position. But for now, we are going to be trimming those 5. We're bringing our 21 assets down to 16. Again, I would like to get in between that 10 and 15 range if we can. There's a few other here that we might chop. But we are just going to keep it. So what are we going to do now? Well, we just raised about $4,000 worth of capital, over $4,000 worth of capital, and I'm going to be buying some more assets here. So we're coming in here. We're buying more XDTE. We're going to buy, so 75 shares would be $4,000. If we did 50 shares, we're about $2,600. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to buy 50 more shares of XDTE. This is going to, XDTE on average, if since inception, is paying 24 cents a week in dividends. So that 50 shares is going to add us, if we were to just do the 50 times the 24, about $12 a week in dividend income. Obviously, if we're going to take that and we're going to multiply it on a monthly basis times the 4, we're just talking about $48, right? So that could be $48 worth of dividend income that we are adding. That brings us up to $132. Obviously, this is on full drip right now, but we have some future plans for that as well. QDT, we're going to be adding some more here as well. Let's see. So if we did 25 shares of this, we're about $1,000. That brings us a little bit under what we just sold today, but we still have some more consolidation. I'm going to be adding 25 here. This one has paid on average 32 cents. So if we take that 32 cents, we times it by the 25 new shares, that's about $8 a week. So not too bad, honestly. 32 bucks a month, really not too terrible. If we take both of those and we add them up together, we're talking about an additional, what, $80 that we are adding per month just between those two. So yes, we did sacrifice a little dividend income in the short term, but as these continue to stack, long term, this will be better, I think, for the portfolio in terms of dividends. So that's the moves we're making as of right now. We're rebalancing a little bit, and then I have some plans coming up here soon. Obviously, we're heavy into BITO right now. SCHD at 4,500. XDT now taking the cake at 6,931. QDTE 538 or $5,368. I'm going to be boosting some more positions. I'll leave that for another video, but I have some other plans for the account. I do want to highlight real quick here. We did pass $800 for the month of August. Obviously, this is going to switch. August is where we turned the margin on. I put that here just so we know. We are in a little bit of margin on the account, but I do want to showcase, because this is a record-breaking month, $808 worth of dividend income. Next month will look a little bit different. We have a lot more weekly dividends coming in, and we have trimmed some positions, so this is just going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. Ideally, we want this position to come down even more, but slowly but surely we are getting this account trued up. If we look at our 3 ETFs, today, what did we do? We did 25 into XDT, 25 into QDT. So if we grab our overall totals, let's just grab this QDTE. We are sitting at, they should be pretty similar. So 126, whoops. So if we grab $126 on QDTE, XDTE, and this is a calculator we shared for free, obviously. XDT, we're sitting at 132. I've updated the total of $2.04, which is the last 4 dividend payments, and XDT at $1.54. We are talking about $460 worth of monthly income, or $12,000 a year, or I'm sorry, $12,000 worth of capital, but $460 of monthly income just between those two alone, which is pretty cool to see. Obviously, if we throw in BITO, we know we have 300 shares of that. That one boosts us even more, up to $895. So between these 3 assets, we're almost pulling in $1,000 a month, which is absolutely crazy to see, but really cool to look at. If we were to just break down the amount that we purchased today, so if we zero this back out and we put in the S&P 500, what did we buy? 50 worth of this. So if we put the 50 there, that puts us to the 2,600 worth of capital that we purchased for today. And then similar on the same note, if we did just the 25 worth of QDTE, this kind of shows you what we just added in dividend income today. So we added $3,600 worth of assets today. We bought ourselves an additional $128 worth of monthly income if all things stay equal. Again, this is based off of what we received in the last 4 months. That's kind of what we're doing. I do want to show you my drip on QDT and XDE. I just threw this together the other day. So far, we've received $145 in QDT dividends in the first 4 weeks. XDT in the first 4 weeks, $92. We've dripped 1.45 shares. In XDT and QDTE, we have dripped 2.66 shares. I want to keep track of this so that you guys can see the drip. You can see the income raising each and every single week. And especially since we just added a bunch more capital, we will see how this week goes. So that is the update for this week. All in on QDT and XDT. We have a bunch of capital that we've thrown at these. And we are going to continue raising that weekly and monthly dividend each and every single week. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And as always, don't forget to drop a like or a comment. And we will catch you next week. Happy investing.